Okay, today we see the final accounts of professionals. In this case, in the previous class, I explained the basic theory connected with accounts of professionals. Today, I would like to explain some technical terms. The first technical term is work in progress. What is work in progress? Work in progress means in the professional accounts, in the accounts of professionals, the work entrusted to the professional by the client may not be completed within 1 year. If it is completed within the accounting year, there is no problem. If the entrusted work will not be complete within one accounting year, then the work turned out by the professionals during the accounting year is called as work in progress. For example, a lawyer takes the case of a client and he gives visit to the court, and that case will not be complete within 1 year. In some cases, that case or the process will not complete in 1 year. He repeatedly go to the court, attend the court, and put the information before the court, and the court will not give the verdict or judgment within 1 year. And whatever the presentation he makes, whatever the work he undertakes during the year, value of that work undertaken or presentation made, that value is called as work in progress. Okay. In the same way, auditor undertake the audit work. The audit work may not be complete at the end of the year. Okay. And the doctor give the treatment to the patient, and before the end of the year, the patient may not be discharged from the hospital. Okay. So whatever the work entrusted is not completed within the accounting year. If some portion is completed, some portion is balanced, in that case we say that work in progress. So work in progress means it is not yet completely cleared. Okay. So in that case, regarding work in progress, we have to make the accounting treatments. Opening work in progress means it is the work in progress the amount of fees receivable at the end of the accounting year on incomplete work is called as work in progress. And here first point arises opening work in progress. Opening work in progress is the work in progress of the last year closing. Last year closing becomes current year opening. And this appears in the trial balance or account balances. And this opening balance of work in progress you have to take in the account. You have to take in the income and expenditure account, debit side as opening balance. Remember that. Opening work in progress you take in the debit side of account, just like opening stock. Remember this. This is just like opening stock. It comes from the debit side of income and expenditure account. Okay. The next is closing work in progress. The closing work in progress, first you have to take in the income and expenditure account credit side. closing work in progress you take on the credit side of income and expenditure account. Then it goes to balance sheet. It goes to balance sheet asset side. This is the point you remember. Opening work in progress, closing work in progress is nothing but stock. Opening stock, closing stock, as you studied. This is same as opening stock and closing stock. You remember this. So work in progress. Opening comes in the debit side. Closing comes on the credit side of income and expenditure account. And closing again goes to balance sheet asset side. This is the point you remember regarding work in progress. This is the first point. And second point is sundry client for fees. Sundry client for fees means they are the debtors. That means if the work interested is completed, but the client has not paid the fees. Client has not paid the fees. That is called as outstanding fees. So that outstanding fee total value is called as debtor. The professional person rendered the service, but fee is not paid by the client. That is called as credit transaction. Service is given on basis of credit. Credit is there. Then that credit transaction is called as debtors. Service is given to the client. Client has not paid the fees. So that is called as debtors. In general, it is debtors. Work in progress means stock. Sundry client for fees means it is the debtor. So this amount you have to take first in the balance sheet asset side. Debtors you have to take in the balance sheet asset side. Client. And if there is doubt regarding this amount, you have to create reserve. That is the provision for client fees. Provision for client fees. Okay, provision against the client's fees is a provision created because of doubt. So if the provision is there, then that provision is to be taken on liability side of balance sheet. Liability side of balance sheet. Remember this. Liability side, balance sheet. Clear? Client, sundry client for fees is a debtor, comes on asset side. Provision of the same comes on the liability side of balance sheet. Okay, if these two are in the trial balance, and only the sundry client is in the trial balance, provision is in the adjustment. If the provision is in the adjustment, provision is in adjustment. Provision is in adjustment, then that provision first you take in the income and expenditure account debit side. Provision for client for fees, first you take in the income and expenditure account and then to the balance sheet liability side. Three items you remember regarding the sundry client for fees. Sundry client for fees always asset, comes in the asset side balance sheet. Provision against client fee is a liability. This comes always on the liability side. Liability side you write. And this amount comes on the income and expenditure account debit side only when it is in adjustment. Only when it is in adjustment. Otherwise, no. This is the point you remember in connection with sundry client for fees. Okay. The next point is client deposit account. What is client deposit account? Client deposit account means it is the deposit taken by the professional person from the client. It is the amount taken as deposit from the client, and this amount is used for paying the expense connected with the client expenses. For example, lawyer. lawyer take the some amount from the client as deposit, and that amount is spent for the client's expense purpose. For example, typing charges or bringing the evidences or any other stationery, traveling expenses, like that. If the expense is connected with the client, that expense is paid out of this client deposit account. So professional people take fee. That fee is for their service. Fee is for service, and this deposit for spending the amount for client's expense. Client's expense. Remember this. So how to adjust this? This always comes on the balance sheet liability side, because it is the amount related to a client. It is amount related to client, so it is a liability. First, you have to write this amount on the liability side. Then you have to make certain adjustment relating to this. The first is expense relating to client. That is client expenses. If there is a client expense, then that client expenses purely related to client is deducted from the expense in the income and expenditure account. Out of total expense, you deduct the client expense in the income and expenditure account, and the same amount is deducted in the client deposit balance. Client deposit. First, you deduct in the total expense in your income and expenditure account. The first step. And second step, in preparing the balance sheet. In preparation of balance sheet, that amount is deducted from the client deposit on liability side. This is the point you remember. Okay. These are the technical terms in connection with the professional accounts. And next, professional account. The professional account, first profession is chartered accountant. Chartered accountant is a person who is having the knowledge of examining the books of accounts. He is having the knowledge of examining the books of accounts. But the meaning of chartered accountant is he is a professional person who cleared or passed the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India exam. And after clearing the exam, he is to register his name with the Association of Chartered Accountants of India. Association of Chartered Accountants of India, he is to register his name and obtain the identification number and identity card from the association. Then he is called as chartered accountant. This is the meaning of chartered accountant. And he is the person who examines the books of accounts and take the fees. And he also gives advice relating to income tax. So for checking the books of accounts, he take the fees. And already I explained the total expenses are to be bifurcated into household expense and professional expense. This is the point already discussed. Okay, this is the theory part you remember in connection with professional person's account. Okay, now I will take one example on this. Okay, you see this problem. Sri Shankar is a chartered accountant. Chartered accountant. He occupied 1/4 of his residential house for his profession. You see this point very carefully. 1/4 of the house is occupied for profession. So remaining is connected with household. 1/4 is related to profession. This 1/4 is related to profession, and remaining 3/4 is connected with the 3/4 is connected with the household. Therefore, here is the rent in the problem that rent is there, rent connected with the house property. So rent is to be taken only 1/4 for, only 1/4 of the rent you take for profession and remaining goes to household. Like that, you have to bifurcate expenses. Okay, one point is relating to profession, that is 1/4 of the residential house is connected with profession. Clear? Then come to the next one. On the basis of this, you are asked to prepare income and expenditure account. Income and expenditure account and cash statement. Household cash statement. Household cash statement means, household means personal. Household means personal. Household cash statement means receipt of personal cash amount and personal expenses, personal payments. Cash statement means it is a receipt and payment account. So receipt side, you write the cash received personally and cash payments personally, personal activity. That is called as cash statement, personal cash statement. Clear? That is a simple one. And first we prepare the income and expenditure account. In the receipt side, you have to take the revenue items, as I already explained. Cash in hand is not a revenue item, it is a capital one, goes to balance sheet, opening balance sheet. Audit fee is a revenue item, tax consultancy revenue item. These two are the incomes. These two are the incomes. Income and expenditure account, credit side you write. Okay. These two comes from the credit side of the income and expenditure account. Then come to the payment side. From the payment side, you have to take the expenses only. Okay. Capital nature item goes to balance sheet. Salary to staff. Salary to staff is a expense. Printing and stationery expense. Telephone charges expense. Professional journal is also expense. Institute fees is expense. Electricity charges expense. Motor car expense. Motor car expenses expense. Drawing is not a expense. Drawing is the balance sheet item. So it goes to balance sheet. And this is the payment. This is the payment to the profession. Remember, it is a payment to the profession, but it is a receipt to the household. It is received by the owner. So it is a receipt to the household. Remember this. Here it is a payment. In the household, it is a receipt. Okay. And cash. Cash is a asset, goes to balance sheet. Last two items are capital nature. Remaining are revenue nature, goes to income and expenditure account. Okay. All these items you take in the income and expenditure account, debit side, and two items credit side. Clear? But while taking these items, you have to take only professional related items. Professional related. You see here, staff devotes 25% time to household. 25% of the time is devoted by the staff to the household, means 25% is relating to household and remaining 75% is relating to profession. So 25% is not related. Out of staff salary, staff means workers. Workers salary is here. Okay, here is the worker salary. This worker salary, you have to allocate 25% to household and remaining 75% you take to income and expenditure account. First point. And regarding rent, rent is 1/4 is relating to profession. In the heading is there. Okay, rent you have to take 1/4 because 1/4 is relating to profession. Clear? Second point. And 60% of electric charges are considered as household. 60% electric charges. You see here electric charge. Electric charge is 3,840. 3,840 is the amount. Out of this amount, 60% is relating to household. Remaining 40% is relating to profession. Remaining you have to take in the profession. Clear? Then remaining adjustment. Third adjustment is Shankar is owner of the car and used equally for profession and personal. Equal means half half. 50% profession, 50% personal, household. Therefore, car expense you take only half for profession. Remaining half goes to household. Then he received interest of rupees 1,000 per month from his household investment. Household investment, not profession. Therefore, it is a receipt connected with household, goes to household account. Okay. He also received rent of rupees 750 per month for his private property. For his private property, he received 750. 750 into 12, 1 year rent he received. So interest is connected with the private activity, this private, and this 750 is also related to private receipt. Then annual expenses, household expenses are food expenses 60,000, clothing expense 15,000, miscellaneous expense 600. These are the payments, personal payment. 3 items payments you write on the payment side, and 2 are here, interest and rent are the receipt you write on the receipt side. One more is the receipt in the drawing, in the form of drawing. Drawing is a receipt to the owner. So it comes on the receipt side. 3 items on the receipt side, 3 items on the payment side comes in your household cash statement. Okay, and close the cash statement, you will get the household cash balance. Clear? You see the solution. First, income and expenditure account for the year ending 31st December 2011. 31st December 2011. Particular amount, salary, 75% I'll take. Total salary is there. Out of total salary, 25% goes to household. Therefore, you leave 25% and take only 75% of total. 75% of total is 6,480. Out of total, 75% you take. Otherwise, you calculate on that. Okay. Second item is rent. You don't take total rent. You take only 1/4 of the rent, because 1/4 portion is used for profession. So 1/4 rent you take. 1/4 rent is 1,440. You may calculate in your particular column. Then printing and stationery. Printing and stationery is totally related with profession. Telephone expense is related with profession. Professional journal are related with profession. Institution fee is related with profession. Electric charges. 60% is relating to household. 60% related to household. Therefore, you leave 60% and take only 40%. So 40% you take, that is 1536. Then car expense. Out of total car expenses, you take half to profession, half to household. Okay, half. 6,000 you take. Then you take the audit fee. Credit side, 96,000 income. Consultation fee is 28,800. Okay, these two are the incomes. And you close the account, total is 1,24,800. 1,24,800 is total. You close the account, difference is the 1,104. 1,104 is called as surplus. Remember this. This is called as surplus. Okay. This is income and expenditure account. Income and expenditure account. Second account you prepare, household cash statement. Household cash statement. Household cash statement for the year ending 31st December 2011. Okay. Here receipt is there, amount, payment amount is there. So receipt side, you take the receipt of cash by the household. First receipt is in the form of drawing. First cash received is in the form of drawing from the profession. So drawing is a receipt to the owner, payment to the profession. So this amount is 57,600. Second amount is interest on investment. Interest on investment is 1,000 per month. 1,000 into 12 for 1 year, 12,000. And third is rent, 750 is there. Rent is 750. 750 into 12, that is 9,000. These are the three receipts. And payments are first food expense 60,000. Clothing expense 15,000. Miscellaneous expense 600. These are the three payments. Okay. You close the account, total is 78,600. Debit side total. Receipt side total 78,600 total. Then difference you calculate, difference is 3,000. This 3,000 difference is called as closing cash balance. Closing cash balance. In this way, you have to calculate the household cash statement. Household cash statement. This is the exercise number 1.